Hi everyone, Master Sukuri coming to you again with our second video on the basic contemporary movements of Capoeira. As I said in the first video, I'm going to go over about 15 techniques, and these techniques are a continuation of the last video. So let's jump right into it and get to work. Here we go. Basic contemporary Capoeira movements. First movement we're going to deal with is actually two. I'm going to divide the Cabeca and the Pandeiro. If you think about it, like a Pandeiro, the goes around your partner, while the Cabeca goes side to side in a straight line. This is most important if you're doing acrobatics that require a round off, or what we call a orgulha. So, to understand the Cabeca, I'm going to turn towards the direction that I'm going. Then, bring my foot back to where the knee is touching my heel. That's a good distance for body and hip connection. I bring it up. The other hand is going to go straight through as my lead hand pushes off the elbow over my knee. This is important so that you can downshift. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've created a mirror image right back to where I was. Here we go again. Straight through, down, not outside, but on a straight line off of your foot. This puts all the weight on the shoulders, as imagine if you're just going straight over. Okay? Here we go, a couple more. Couple from the side. And perfect if I want to go into an acrobatic movement. Now, the next movement is going to be Pandeiro. I'm going to use the roda here. Imagine my partner's in the middle. I'm going to go from a Meia Guarda and circle my partner. Again, lowering myself from my waist, pushing off from the knee. Returning to a Meia Guarda position. Now, the reason I come back to a Meia Guarda position is because a lot of people don't understand how to connect movements. To connect the movements, especially from acrobatics, you need to go back through a, what did we call it in the first video? A transition point. So my Meia Guarda just makes sure that I'm doing the movement from a transition point to a transition point. I don't want to end up outside like this. So I force myself to return to a Meia Guarda. Okay? Here. Now, let's move towards Cocorinha. Cocorinha, most important is to remember that your hips are below your knee level. The feet are slightly apart, maybe the heels straight under your shoulders or a little more. Lower yourself, touch the floor, and return. Lower yourself, touch the floor, and return. From the side. Okay, now let's do a couple from the side and from the front so you can see two basic ways to train the Cocorinha. Ginga, forward, and Ginga to the side. Ginga forward, Cocorinha, and Ginga to the side. Cocorinha. Our next move is going to be shifting sideways. When I shift sideways, I'm trying to go from here to the side in a Meia Guarda protective and comfortable position. I'm not going to skip and drop my hands. I'm going to keep the metronome, pull through, and shift sideways. Guarding, balançando, and Ginga. Ginga, shifting sideways. See how my hands are still involved in the movement? From the side. Shifting sideways. Okay, the next two movements are going to be Palmada and a outside block, okay? This is the counter to the Palmada. When I do the Palmada, I'm gonna cup my hand like that, so the air stays inside. My partner's in a guard position, so I need to reach between, hit the ear, pull back. Imagine you're getting water and pulling it back in. Don't forget to drop twist, counter guard, and palmada. Here we go. Meia Guarda, palmada, palmada. If you notice, I don't Ginga and come like this. Any basic person who knows boxing or any kind of fighting will be guarding. You're just going to crash into their arm. Posição da Ginga. Returning for Ginga. Since the Palmada is trying to get inside, we can counter that with, to counter the Palmada, we're going to use an outside block, where I bring my hands up and I just do a simple escada. The inside block was an escada in. Now the outside one is more from the wrist. I turn just enough to block. I'm not going to open up wide or push out too far, just enough to block the Palmada. Outside block. Protect the ear, put it in between with the high block. High block. Giro. Probably one of the most important moves that I use is Giro. Why? because it's the move that teaches you the footwork to be able to spin and spot your partner. Spot your partner, very important. From the Ginga, I step through onto my heel, turning the heel towards the direction I'm going. This will help the other foot come up, spin together, and then shift back out to a Meia Guarda position. 1, 2, 3, 4. This way the feet can be together and you can spin easier. The hands are going to go in to block me so I can block. The other thing is I'm going to learn to look at my partner. I'm going to step through, come through, and only at the last minute turn. This is called spotting your partner. This way I can learn to keep looking. If you notice, I don't go up because I'll lose balance. I'm still at a good level of movement. Okay? The next thing I want to do is show you from the side so you can see that better. Step through, come out with your guard, nice and clean. Giro. Negativa de Frente. By now you've learned the Meia Guarda, the posição da Ginga are basically connected. It's the middle point. Now, for the Negativa de Frente, it's when it's in the Ginga position, but now I'm going to make the hip and the knee the same level with my outside hand down. This gives me a nice bounce, takes me lower for a good position. Again, my elbow to protect and return. Down, bounce, protect. Keeping that guard from the front. Down, body together, protect. Down, body together, protect. Okay? If you notice, there's a little bit of balançando in my hips. Because I don't stop, I keep the compression. The body weight is on the whole body, the hand, the two legs, okay? I distribute the weight properly. I'm using my leg to lower myself so I properly do the movement. Now, a couple from the reverse angle. Negativa de Frente. Shifting inwards is the next shifting position that we're going to learn, this next shifting technique. To do that, I'm going to use this atabaque. And imagine this is my partner. If I shift forward and come up with the leg behind, I can negativa. But shifting, sometimes I want to move in front of him, but I don't want to step up to get a rasteira. So what I do is I learn to shift inwards from my partner. Just like Giro, I turn the foot, bring it together, and shift out. In, shifting inwards. This is important as meia de compasso has this movement inside, okay? with Ginga. See how my body works together? Shifting inwards. The next movement we're going to learn is Cotovelhada, which means elbow strike, right? It's important to learn the different hands and the elbows, the cabeçadas, and all the different moves because they're part of when you kick in capoeira. If I do a Meia de Frente, it's a little Cotovelhada in there. As you progress and get smoother, you'll understand what I'm saying. So let's get right to it. Just like the Palmada, but my partner's here with his hands protecting, I'm going to imagine I'm pushing his hand down, bring the elbow up, and down. Down. Getting inside of his guard. Not straight, because he's blocking. So I want to down, down, and of course with the drop twist. Down, 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 down. Okay? If you notice, I'm always cross-guarding with my hands. This will cut right along the eyes, and it's actually a very dangerous move, so only for jogo duro. Okay? From the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cotovelhada. Cotovelhada Reversa. Reversing the cotovelhada. What I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine my partner has moved around me. Now they're behind me once I kicked. So I turn using my whole hips. Turn using my hips. Turn using my hips and guarding. Turn using my hips and guarding. See how my body turns almost like a hip-hop movement where both feet move together? This is incredibly important once we get to Armada, to Queixada. So please remember to turn the body to get the extension. Okay? Cotovelhada Reversa. Okay? Queixada is what we're going to do next. What I'm going to do is over-exaggerate the movement so that you guys can see how that works. With the Queixada, I'm going to be kicking with the heel on the outside with my toes up. Just like a Meia de Frente, but going out. I Ginga using my hands, blocking, pull together, almost like I'm doing a Cotovelhada Reversa. Then bring up the foot using this leg to turn. Step out, forward, kick, return. From the side, Esquiva de Costas. 1, 2, 3. Esquiva de Costas. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's different ways to count it, so don't worry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it from all 3 directions, front, back, and side, so you guys can see. Okay? I'll do the first 4 from Esquiva de Costas. Remember, I'm going to exaggerate a little bit so you guys can see how it works. Now, from the side. back from the Queixada to the Ginga position. Returning in. Back to a good Ginga position. Balanced body. Queixada. The next movement we're going to do is the next Giro. Giro medio or Giro no compasso. Don't worry about the name so much, as I'm going to show the basic way to do it, and we'll build from there. Same as with the first Giro, but what I want to imagine is like I have a big bucket of water, and that big bucket of water needs to go down, down, down in a nice natural movement. So with the Giro medio, from the Ginga, I step in. As I come through and past the center, I'm going to lower, Giro, and back to Meia Guarda. Ginga, Giro medio, and back to Meia Guarda. Okay? I'm going to do them looking underneath so you can see how it works. Ready? Bend the knees a little bit. Look at your partner. Giro medio. The last movement we're going to work on today for our basic contemporary capoeira movements is going to be Negativa en pé. Some people call it cadeira, which means chair, but I've always used the name Negativa en pé, so that's what we're going to go with for this video. As with the Cocorinha, if you remember, there's almost a straight line under my hips to my heels, and I lower myself. But with the Negativa en pé, I'm actually trying to be in the same Meia Guarda, maybe a little bit less wide. Then lower my chest or my center to my knee, guarding so that I'm still inside. Inside. Not to the side, because if a kick's coming, you're going to get your head hit on the side. From the side, notice how my hips and knees are the same level. That concludes today's video, 15 movements, basic contemporary capoeira movements, part 2. Guys, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to help. Mestre Security, lots of love, peace, and capoeira.